Hey, this right here, that's the Bluetti RVSolar 48 volt power system. I'm Zach with RackUp+Go, and today I'd like to introduce you to the latest innovation in power systems. With this new technology, you get the freedom to build your power system exactly how you want to build it. Bluetti does not lock you into their platform the way that some other brands do on the market. And that's just one reason we love this system. Stay tuned to learn more about what we love and what we don't. Let's get into it. The first thing to note here is the all-in-one design of the system. It's plug and play, similar to what you might have seen in the EcoFlow Power Kit. And it's a whole heck of a lot quicker to install than something like a Victron system. It comes with basically everything you need to get the system installed and up and running. There's some odds and ends here that you may want to purchase separately, but that's because Bluetti doesn't lock you into the limits of their system. You're able to source additional components and build your system the way that you want to build it. Let's start here with the battery. This battery has almost double the cycle life than the comparable kit on the market, the EcoFlow Power Kit. It's 3,500 cycles with EcoFlow. It's 6,000 cycles with Bluetti. Operating temperatures are also a bit better with the Bluetti battery. The EcoFlow batteries operate between -4 and 122 degrees, and they include a self-heating function. The Bluetti batteries also offer self-heating, but they operate between -4 and 131 degrees. It's also worth noting the Bluetti batteries are marine grade with an IP65 rating. The EcoFlow batteries are IP54. What that means is that Bluetti's batteries offer a much higher level of protection against dust and water. Now, as far as certifications go, the EcoFlow battery is UL 1973. The Bluetti batteries have the same UL certification, but they also have SAE J2464 as well as UL 60730-1. Why does all this matter? Well, for one, it indicates the level of safety. We've all heard the nightmare stories about unsafe batteries. Price point is the main driver for people installing those kinds of batteries. But the market is correcting. While brands like EcoFlow have been collecting a premium for being UL certified, Bluetti is course correcting. The Bluetti battery outperforms the EcoFlow battery in nearly every category. Yet the EcoFlow 5 kilowatt-hour battery is about $4,600. Bluetti, $1,699. That's for the 5 kilowatt-hour 48 volt battery. The Bluetti 4 kilowatt-hour 12 volt battery is just $899. Of course, the 12 volt batteries would need to be wired in series, so 4 of these 12 volt batteries gets you 16 kilowatt hours of capacity for just $3,600. That's over 3 times the capacity with the same UL certifications, better specs, and it's still $1,000 less than just one EcoFlow battery. These prices are, of course, at the time of this video. All that being said, stay tuned because EcoFlow does have Bluetti beat in some areas, and we'll talk about that later. Now, let's get into the RV5 Power Hub. This is an all-in-one power hub, which means that all of your charging comes in through this one device. Solar, alternator, shore power, generator. This hub is also an AC inverter and DC power output to your distribution panel. One quick note, you can also charge this Bluetti system from a J1772 compatible EV charger for super quick charging. So while the EcoFlow Power Kit may offer increased charging capacity from the alternator, being able to park your rig at an EV charger, go for a hike, and come back to a fully charged system, honestly, in certain situations where I'm not planning to travel a long distance but still want a quick charge in an hour or two, the Bluetti system sounds more convenient to me. EV chargers are everywhere now, so you can just pull up at a park that has an EV charger, take your dog for a walk, and come back to a fully charged system. Now, another big improvement on this Bluetti system is the AC output. This thing is packed with 5,000 watts of AC continuous output, in addition to another 1,360 watts at 12 volt on the DC side. That's more than enough to run your standard van build. And this thing can easily run mini RVs as well. It has enough output to run 2, maybe even 3 in many scenarios, traditional rooftop air conditioners while simultaneously running everything else. We like to test advertised specs here because we've uncovered some snake oil in the past. Check out our heat chamber test in a previous video. We put the RV5 output to the test. We ran 4,800 watts of resistive loads on the inverter for a half an hour. We got no sagging and we got no thermal cutoffs. It's also super quiet in comparison to other inverters that we've done this test on. And you can see that based on what you're getting in output, this thing is relatively small footprint for what you're getting out of it. So again, similar to the EcoFlow Power Kit, you can output 3 different voltages. You're of course getting your 110 volt AC, and you can also select 12 volt or 24 volt on the DC side. While the system is 48 volt native, most appliances, lighting, fans, etc., are still 12 volt. So this gives you the benefit of much higher efficiency and smaller gauge wires that produce less heat. Now, one of the more important questions we get regarding this system, do I have to run a 12 volt or 24 volt air conditioner through the distribution panel? The answer is no. If you remember, the 12 volt max output is 1,360 watts. A lot of 12 volt air conditioners draw about 700 watts. Some are even over 1,000. So that wouldn't be an ideal situation, right? With this, you can run a more efficient, higher output 48 volt air conditioner like the Dometic 48 volt FreshJet. That unit, it's a super efficient, powerful air conditioner, and it also has a heat pump. It's one of the only units on the market that has this. But you can run that FreshJet unit or other 48 volt units direct wired into these 48 volt batteries. That way, you still have your entire 12 volt or 24 volt output capacity from your distribution panel. We wanted to test this. So we direct wired a 48 volt FreshJet to this battery bank, and we ran both cooling and heating. Once again, there were no operational issues here. The only thing to note is that with the current firmware anyway, the direct wired AC doesn't show real-time wattage on the display screen. However, the battery state of charge and the remaining runtime do update accurately in real time. Now, I mentioned that EcoFlow has Bluetti beat in some areas, so let's talk about that. Specifically in solar and alternator charging potential. The EcoFlow Power Hub allows up to 7,200 watts of solar charging and up to 4,800 watts of alternator charging. As you likely know, that's overkill for most builds, but if you need that massive charging capacity for your build, Bluetti maybe just isn't the right fit for you. The Bluetti system offers up to 3,600 watts of solar charging from port 1 and 2 of the RV5 if you don't want to use alternator charging. If you do, you get up to 1,200 watts of alternator charging on port 2. These are still some pretty impressive numbers, and from our experience, this seems to fit most new van builds. Okay, so let's move on to the AC/DC smart distribution panel. You run your provided cables from the power hub to the distribution panel, and that's where you get 110 volt on the AC side and 12 volt or 24 volt on the DC side. This Bluetti panel has 8 AC circuits and 20 DC circuits. Another really cool thing is that you can have the ability to control both AC circuits and DC circuits from the touchscreen or in your Bluetti app on your phone. You can control 4 of the AC circuits and 6 of the DC circuits. The most popular thing here in our experience is being able to control your lights directly from your phone. So when you're laying in bed, rather than getting up to turn the lights off, you can just hit the switch on your phone. So what I'm showing you here is a 5 kilowatt hour system with just one battery. Now, brace yourself for this. You can expand this system all the way up to 122.8 kilowatt hours. At that point, you might want to consider registering for a commercial power license because you could probably provide backup power for your entire neighborhood. This is just a general overview of the all-new Bluetti RVSolar power system. In summary, this offers you a quick and easy install. Everything is labeled, and honestly, if you read the manuals, which you definitely should, there's some really good info in there, especially surrounding the EV charging function I mentioned earlier. So if you read the manuals and you pre-plan your layout, you should honestly be able to install this system in about an hour. Now, as always, if you're trying to buy from a reputable source that answers the phone when you call and can quickly and effectively support you before, during, and after your install, we're here and we're always happy to help. We are your power system experts. Review our other videos for some in-depth content on some more complex topics like secondary alternators. Please like and subscribe, and remember, life's an adventure. RackUp+Go.